Good morning, everybody. This is Chris from the Stewart Buzz. Just a little pop in to say hello to everybody and happy Monday to you. So I just want to go over a couple of things that I know, and then we're going to go live again with Kaylee later on today. I hear that Tucker Carlson, now this is all hearsay, by the way, but I did hear that he thinks that he was attacked by demons while sleeping. So good luck with you there, Tucker, on that one. Also, have you ever come across an individual or individuals I have in my field that everything is paranormal? Okay, so if a light switch or if a light bulb burns out, all of a sudden it is a demon or a family member or a friend or something like that. So I had a lady once on Long Island. The ATMs weren't working. She went to 3 ATMs and all ATMs were not working. She blamed it on Mercury retrograde. You know what I blame it on? The damn bank. Go to a different bank. Your bank sucks. So seriously now, not everything has to do with paranormal. Not everything has to do with oh my God, it's Mercury retrograde. Some people don't leave their house. Some people don't leave their house, and they are crippled because of Mercury retrograde. Are we kidding each other right now? Is that really the way it's supposed to work? I don't think so. I honestly, I find that a bit strange. That's just me, okay? I have a guy that came into the store the other day, and he's been to the store a few times. And he stands in the store and just moves around. And then I asked him to stop because he looks like a complete, wacko. So I had asked him to stop. All in all, he's a fairly nice guy. But then every single person that walked into the store, he approached them and said, "Are you psychic? Can I feel your aura? Are you serious right now? This is 2025. You don't go up to strangers and ask them if you can feel your aura." And then you know what they're doing. And now it's not just over here that he does it. He follows them to their car. So this strange dude is following women to their car to talk to them. Now, to me, I find that a bit strange. I honestly would not have tolerated that at all. So I told him that he can't really do that because, you're going to get in trouble by doing that. And lo and behold, right when I was closing, somebody was in my store, and then she walked outside to leave, and he followed her. I said, "Dude, what are you doing?" I'm just gonna, talk to her, and started asking her if she was psychic and about auras and things like that. It's like, why? Why do you have to approach women that you don't know, follow them to their car, and ask if you can feel their aura? Personally, he did not ask me if he could feel my aura. There would have been a bit of a problem with that. But anyway, that is the way people really are. And we were also talking about positive and negative. So there was somebody in the store, and they were talking about the devil. He said, "If I believe in God, that means I have to believe in the devil." I'm like, I'm not going to get too political or too religious on this whole thing. But no, I do not give that side any power whatsoever. So, I mean, really, I believe in positive and negative, okay? I believe in positive things, negative things. Do I believe in people being possessed? Yeah, I'm going to get feedback on this. No, I don't believe that they're possessed. I believe that the thought of them being possessed, they then take it, they run with it, and they make it worse. So I know people that are willing themselves to be sick. Whether consciously or unconsciously, they are willing themselves to be sick. And then people can will themselves to be better. Everybody knows that. It's the law of attraction. It's just the way it works. But if you're going to constantly say that you're sick or you have something wrong with you, then you're going to constantly have something wrong with you and be sick. So this person was talking to me. There was another person with us, and he finally got it at the end of our conversation. But you guys are like taking this whole new thing, and it's not new. It's centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries old. But you got to remember, not everything has to do with the metaphysics. Not everything has to do with paranormal. I mean, like if your drawer opens by itself, it is not a demon or a loved one opening the door. I went on plenty of paranormal investigations, and I also found out the loose screws, not only in the person's head, but the loose screws that are actually on the drawer hinge or the drawer tracks, where one of them was like tilted upward and the drawer would open because the screw was out. So there are people that have screws loose. Just saying. We're going to have a comment on this regarding Kaylee, because I know Kaylee's going to disagree on some of this. She will agree on some as well, but I think she's more into the Mercury retrograde and things like that. I'm not saying there's not anything to that, but that does not mean that if your computer crashes today, that it's Mercury retrograde. It just does not work that way. I don't understand why people really think that way, but they really do. I mean, they run their lives on the zodiacs. We had a conversation about the zodiacs last night. So, I mean, somebody came up with those characteristics of the zodiac signs. We all know that. A human being did it. So they grouped all the Tauruses together, or the, Aquarius. They took the characteristics of these people and they put it into the zodiac signs. There is so much about it. We talked about this recently. Kaylee talked about it the other day. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I have no idea what that phrase means, by the way. But I don't put a lot of thought into the zodiac signs, just like I don't listen to Dear Ann Landers. Those people that are my age will know who that is. The younger folks who wouldn't know who that is. So don't overthink this whole thing. There's so many people that are like blaming the universe for things that are happening to them in their lives. It's the universe's fault. Well, why can't it be your fault? Why can't it be you manifesting something? So there's a gentleman in my store and is kind of wondering about his love life and everything. And he said, why do all my relationships fail? I mean, they just all fail. I said, dude, what's the common denominator in this? And he stopped and he looked at me and he's like, well, me. I said, exactly. So why are they failing? Why are they failing because of you? Or are they failing because of some mysterious thing that you're not supposed to be with somebody? Now, I think that is bull. I think that's garbage. I think that he just sucks at picking women. Or maybe that he causes them to step away. You got to take a reflection on yourself. You got to look at yourself. You got to say, okay, what's the common denominator here? What is the problem here? And when you come to that conclusion, then I believe things will be okay. I told him, I said, once you start thinking more positive that you are going to have somebody, I mean, that's the way you need to think. You can't constantly think in a negative form. So we're going to stop it right there. We're going to wait for Kaylee to come in. We're going to continue this conversation, and I'm sure it's going to be fun. Stay tuned for that. See you in a little while. And hello, everybody. I just want to let you know that we have a little change of plans. We had an opportunity to have Mike and Blake come by in the Trump RV, the motorhome, and they'll tell us their controversial episodes that they've had with numerous people with Berry Fresh and Oak and Ember and Zoo, and just people that just don't seem to grasp the concept that they are bipartisan and that they may be Republican, but the Trump, or I wouldn't even call it that, I'll call it the RV that they have that's wrapped in beautiful American Eagle and Martin Luther King and JFK and the moonwalk. It's just a series of both bipartisan information. So they're going to be coming through, and stay tuned and listen in for that, because that's coming up right now. See ya. And we are live. Hi, everybody. This is Chris from the Stewart Buzz with two of the most degenerate people I've ever met.
Three, actually.
You got Mike and you got Blake.
Total.
Three, including me. Everybody knows that, though. That's a gimme. So we're here to talk about a couple of controversies or a couple of situations and to clear them up, or at least make more mystery of them, one or the other.
Mystery.
So let's start off with Blake, because he's a little bit more normal than Mike. Blake, so how are things going driving that beautiful RV, which I think is beautiful, but anyway, just to let you know, guys. How's things going with that?
Well, every day something new happens, that's for sure. You know, and one thing I've learned is people will always form their own opinions no matter what. A lot of them actually don't have all the facts, and then they'll, spout off their opinion publicly without knowing everything. Some of the people made public Facebook posts telling Mike to go back to California, but we'll get into the rest of that later. But, altogether, it's been an adventure. It's fun. We met Russell Brand. Grant Cardone was on there, so.
Hey, by the way, sorry to interrupt. Did you hear that Dan got the deputy chief?
Oh, yeah.
FBI?
Yeah, that was awesome.
So.
Love that.
Did you know that?
Of course.
Okay.
I read the National Enquirer.
I didn't even know that's still in business. I actually got that off of Fox News. So sorry. But anyway, so I did read and I did see a couple of videos that people posted, and I read some. I actually left a comment.
And, did you? Good.
On the Berry Fresh page.
Is that the one we cut out?
No, it didn't. It's still there. I saw it. And I said, why does everybody only see Donald Trump on the RV when there's so much more story? So we're going to go to Mike on that. Mike, honestly, there is so many other aspects to that RV. Why do people only concentrate on Trump? I was standing outside here maybe 2 weeks ago when you guys were here, and one guy literally said, yeah, come back in 2 months and see if you can park your RV here. And you were very nice. You were so diplomatic. The guy had no idea what to do. He was nasty. He was being nasty and dissing you guys. And you were just like, well, you have a great day, sir. In a very special way, by the way. He knew kind of what you meant. But why do people focus only on that? Why do you think that is?
Well, I think the biggest reason is obviously because they don't necessarily agree with who Donald Trump is and what he's trying to accomplish, and they focus on what they think he's about, and they're panicked because they're being exposed and pushed. They're like cockroaches. Okay, they're now finally being flushed out, and they realize they have no place to go because the new administration, is going to put up with all this crap.
I do agree with that part. The thing that confuses the hell out of me, though, is when you point out, wait, here's Martin Luther, here's JFK, and now since they came up with, they actually think there's 2 shooters and all these things, why? Like, don't you bring that up to them, and do they say anything about that?
Yeah, actually, I mean, when people come up and ask, they'll say, well, what is this all about? And then I'll start with Iwo Jima, Martin Luther King, Kennedy, Trump, World Trade Center, moon landing. And I tell them that, listen, this is actually about our freedoms. And that's who I voted for. And you can go vote for whoever you want.
Amen. And it is about America.
Freedom.
America.
Freedom.
Yep. The freedom to vote for who you want to vote for without being bullied, being called a racist, a bigot, that time is over.
So let's segue into the place that you parked when you wanted breakfast.
Do I dare say the name?
If that's your choice.
Yeah, Very Fresh. So long and the short of it is, I went there.
Let's not use the word short, okay?
Okay. That's right. Yeah. The long and the long of it is, I went there for breakfast and I was sitting there. And at the time, I didn't have a Trump hat on. I just had my motorhome Mike shirt on. And the motorhome was parked across parking spaces along the parking area. And a customer came out from the parking lot and started looking at it and then saw my shirt, put two and two together, which can liberals put two and two together? One
They
and one
try.
is,
It doesn't always equal
actually,
four.
to them, it's one and one is three or four.
I
But
think
anyway,
that's a song, by the way.
yeah. So anyway, then she started bad-mouthing Trump and said he's an effing pig.
And that's her prerogative.
That's her prerogative. And I looked at her and I said,
I said that about you just a little while ago.
well, but I said that about, yeah. But anyway, so I said, well, listen, I'm having breakfast. I'm not talking to you at all. So she went into Very Fresh and went right to the manager. And about that time, Blake showed up, which is about when the video started. And I had gone on board and grabbed my Trump hat because, I'm wearing my Trump hat.
Yeah, it's like, don't F with me.
And Steve-O came out and said that.
So, who, I'm sorry, back up. Who came out?
Steve-O?
Steve-O came out.
Yeah, I'm not sure of her name, but.
Brandy, I think it is.
Brandy.
From
That's a Brandy?
Very Fresh.
Or she drank brandy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I think it might be Brandy. I don't know.
Yeah,
not
Randy or
Brandon?
Brandy. Randy or Brandy. But anyway.
Brandon?
Yeah. Whatever her name is. So the short and the short, the long and the long is that the customer complained to her. She called Mitch and Mitch said, hey, listen, then just call the police. So actually she did what she was instructed to do by Mitch.
Now, and again,
Secondly, not firstly.
what's important to note real quick, Chris, is this is another person who had partial information and made a decision based off of partial information. So they wound up making a decision that, ultimately had him calling me at 7 a.m.
Oh, you mean after it posted?
Oh, yeah.
And, the irony is that we never would have got the call if he wouldn't have been blown up with people calling him and saying, we're not going to go there anymore. How dare you do this?
No,
It's
he
still
never would have apologized.
He never would apologize. And even after the fact, kind of what happened after the fact was kind of janky the way he handled it.
And
Absolutely.
The comments are still going, by the way. And just so you know, so you guys had a make up and kiss meeting at all?
I'm not sure if that's the right terminology, but we decided that it's time to talk about it, and he
I
talked
don't want
about
to
it.
say bury the hatchet because I know where it would be buried.
That's a good one. Bury the hatchet.
Yeah, and somebody's head.
I have a shirt that says, don't be a Mitch.
Well, we're not going to go there.
Yeah, but I have a shirt there. Don't be a Mitch.
That's very good. You have shirts.
I do. So anyway, we decided, okay, look, we weren't out to hurt him personally or his business. It's just unfolded a certain way. And
That you were hungry.
And yeah, exactly. That was the first part of it. And the second part of it is that the way it was handled, and it continued, it didn't stop there. So after the breakfast, you have to leave the property. That wasn't enough. No. Steve-O was instructed to call the management company and called the management company. And then the RV was also trespassed. So it wasn't just one incident. It were two incidences of trespass.
So your vehicle is not allowed in the Berry Fresh parking lot anymore.
Well, remember, it's not the Berry Fresh parking lot. As a matter of fact,
I agree with
the
you.
irony is that the seating area at Berry Fresh is on a public sidewalk.
Fact.
Outside.
Fact, yes.
Yeah, fact.
Yeah, it's in a plaza.
Yeah, and so they were so anything that they thought they could see or touch was theirs. And so she saw the RV, said that that needs to be removed. I said, well, I'm not moving it. And so that's when she called the property management. And I was parked legally in a non-fire zone.
So the police were called. Did they have any like, because you were trespassed by the property owners,
Well, by Berry Fresh and the property owners.
you had to leave. So
That's correct.
by law, you would have to.
Sure. We're not there to mess with law enforcement.
No, understood. And you said that. So, officer, I'm sure you have better things to do. And you said, certainly I do.
Oh, for sure. You can tell they don't want to be there.
Right. They don't want to deal with this with petty.
But and actually, Chris, while we're on that, it goes to show that you have the same people that want to defund the police, wasting the police time for something as petty as an RV being parked in a plaza that they don't own.
Fact. Yeah.
And that's not the only case. I mean, we've got a zoo. We've got the Mets
So
going up,
tell me
the same
about
thing.
tell me about. Well, first of all, is the Berry Fresh situation complete? And Mitch apologized and said, "Okay, you can come here anytime."
Well, yes, no. We were going to an event. I think it was on a Saturday, just to go to his other a grand opening, and
It wasn't a grand opening. It was just a meeting. We were going to go there and support him in the Palm Beach Gardens because this is what happened. We had to have a discussion with Kyle G at Oakenember after Kyle said that Mike needed to go back to California, called us internet bullies and say we disrespect the police.
I think it was worse.
I'm just paraphrasing.
and
here.
actually,
Hold on.
actually, we all removed our post except he left
he didn't
that
he didn't
post.
remove it.
He didn't remove his. And actually, I called him and we texted him, said, "Hey, look, give us a call. We need to talk about this." And we haven't had a call or anything. So his personal blast that he put out is, because I
Still
got
up there.
No. He took the post down after, but that was after we had the discussion at Oakenember. After he said we weren't allowed at any of his restaurants anymore, ironically, hours later, we were invited to have a sit-down meeting with him, Mitch, and a couple other guys, right? And Mike and myself. And Mike,
At his restaurant?
Yeah, at Oakenember, right next
Right next
door.
door, yeah.
And what's funny is Mike called him out. He said, "So why is that post still up? We did our thing for Mitch and everything. Why is the post still up as we sit here at the table talking to you? Were you trying to hold us hostage?" And he basically, Kyle's like, "No, I'm not trying to hold you hostage." He goes, "I just wanted to see how the meeting would go." And so he goes,
and I said,
Wait,
"Well,
wait,
that's
wait.
hostage."
Let me speak for a minute. And if I have to mute your ad, I'm going to mute it. But so if the meeting didn't go well,
correct.
the post remains.
Yes.
If the meeting went well, the post is removed.
Correct.
With him,
Yep.
Like,
And then he said he wasn't holding us hostage.
we
I
shut down
saw
the
what
post.
he wrote.
Oh, so did we.
I think I messaged you the conversation.
Yeah, you did. Thank you for that, by the way.
And okay, but to me, he doesn't know you. He doesn't know what you stood for. He doesn't know anything other than you were out here. And okay, so you got a ticket. And since you got a ticket, you might as well stay there. But anyway, to me, what was wrong over there? It was, I think, after 4, but was valet, or if it was before
about
4,
3:15.
it's loading. Okay, fine.
It was actually before that.
So, I guess my point is that you were unloading some of the stuff. You had brought me some stuff, right? So you were unloading.
And we also had lunch there that cost us what,
$304. So between Berry Fresh and Kyle G, we were paying customers. We were there to support their business, and this is how they treat us.
And so, how did it end with Kyle now?
Kyle doesn't respond to text messages. He knows it's me. I asked him to make a rescission post saying that he met with us and to clear the air with everybody since, all of his connects and the little powers that be in Martin County all saw the post on his because a lot of people brown nose people around Martin County. We know that. There's people that rub shoulders and like, oh, you see who I was with? I was with Dan Bongino. Oh, did you see my picture with this person? Oh, I'm friends with Kyle G. He owns these restaurants, which really he doesn't even really own. He just is funded by somebody. This is, he was a chef somewhere and some guy said, hey, you want to make some restaurants? And it's almost a tax write-off.
I know those people.
Yeah, exactly.
And we
Isn't
all
it
know
funny?
those people.
Yeah, so we're not attacking the fact that he's in business and
Real
anything like
Housewives
that.
of Martin County.
Again, here's what's interesting. It started with having breakfast. It starting with a customer that didn't like it. It escalated to the point where now you have other people in the community getting involved that really shouldn't have got involved. You have somebody that's president of the Martin GOP giving us a call saying, take the post down.
Demanding we take the post down.
Demanding. And from there, she made calls. What's her name? Patty
Patty Marchese
Marchese
made calls and
She made
stirred the
calls.
shit after we already resolved it with Mitch.
Yeah, we already had it
It was
resolved.
already done.
Yeah.
And
Well,
she kept it going. They perpetuated the situation. Then Kyle made a post. Patty called around stirring the shit, and she should have just minded her own business because
Yeah.
we don't work for the Martin GOP. We are not funded by the Martin GOP. We are
as a matter of fact,
privateers.
we
And
did.
actually, if you want to have an opinion, then maybe you can write us a check to make a difference in the county
Well,
instead
actually-
of just holding your Lincoln Day dinners and getting photo ops with people.
So actually, we
Blake, why don't you tell us how you really feel?
yeah, no. So actually, we had done some events with the Martin GOP, actually taken them to events on the motorhome, gone to events they requested for no dime whatsoever.
Right.
And
And that's good.
yeah, well, I mean, it's just part of being part of the community, right? And again, yes, I'm from California, but what I did learn coming to Florida is that, man, there's all kinds of undercurrent within the Republican parties that are fighting each other. What do they call it? Rhinos?
Yeah.
Rhinos.
Yeah. So now we're on
Republican in name only.
yeah. So now we're on a rhino hunt.
Oh, Lord.
And the
I
ego
can see where this is
strokers,
going. Let's talk about-
self-serving losers of the GOP and the Republican Executive Committee.
Alrighty then.
So Blake, tell us how you really feel.
Yeah.
Well, he knows it. It's the truth.
Okay.
So sorry.
Let's get to the zoo thing.
Oh, yeah, the zoo.
The
So-
zoo thing was a little bit more hostile.
Well, remember
I mean,
this.
As far as like the lady holding the door back when we went to go hold the door. I mean, I'm looking at this as like, wow, this lady's really really.
So remember this is that, first of all, we're not out just looking for things. Example, we were on our way to support Donald Trump coming into town. That was our mission. Pulled into an empty parking lot, the zoo parking lot, empty. And before I could get down the steps, 3 women came running out of the door saying, "Get that out of here. You can't park here."
And this is a zoo.
This is the zoo.
Because
The zoo office.
Zoo
of,
office,
Southern
yes.
zoo
Boulevard.
is very. It has to do. Zoos have to do with politics.
Right. Well, there's same with the Mets, right? But and we'll tell you that story. But having said that, so before I could literally get down the steps, they're out there screaming to leave, and so then that's when we approached them and started recording, and then you saw what happened. But the second part to that you didn't see was that they called the police. The police show up 3 deep, and literally it was down to 2 seconds from being arrested for trespassing.
Yeah. Well, I
how
told
can
them we had to leave.
you
'Cause
can't be arrested for trespassing unless you're told to leave and you don't.
Well, the way it actually works, yes, you have to be told to leave by the person in charge, and you also have to be cited as a document. Okay,
There you
well,
go. There's the
right,
document.
Okay, it didn't happen. And,
Right. That's what I'm saying. You can't.
And even the Palm Beach cop said, well, when I finally said, well, give me a citation so I have something, he said, well, I'm not going to do it. And I said, well, then you really can't trespass me.
Right.
He goes, well, I'm gonna. I said, okay. So as this discussion went on, it came down to I knew what he was going to do. And here's what I didn't want to do. We have the President of the United States coming in. We got 3 guys that should have their eyes out on the road watching his safety, and they're messing with us, me. So anyway, we decided, you know what? Let's just leave. It's not worth where it's going and people not watching the President of the United States.
I don't know. I think that if President Trump saw this RV, he would want a picture next to it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Honestly, I see people lining up to get pictures next to your RV and look inside. It's
It's becoming a museum is what it's becoming.
and rightly so. I mean, why are we? So if you're a Democrat, okay, so I was always a Republican, then I became an independent. All right, because I voted Democrat at times and I voted Republican at times. I had to vote for the best person, I thought. So what I decided is if you want to be a Democrat and you want to talk about that, we can agree to disagree, or we can agree to agree, or we can fight
Yeah.
over here.
Right.
And that's
That seems to work out pretty good.
it's so
And here we
fun.
are on the
No, you're a good guy. You're a good guy. You're fun. I mean, you give me exercise. I like that. It's
Well,
good.
I wasn't even warmed up and really going, but I just want to let you have your minute. because this is your show, and it wouldn't look good if you weren't sitting in the chair anymore.
All right, let's not.
Okay. So anyway, it's all good.
I will be
we've kissed and made up.
I will be humble. I do not think any less of you.
Hold on, for those watching, they argue like a married couple.
What are you drinking, Blake?
This
Yeah, don't even ask.
no, this is it's turmeric, cayenne, and black pepper.
Why?
He's got some
good.
weird stuff going.
Hey, then.
So having said that, so now you have the zoo. Okay, we went through that little episode, and along the way, there's been, it seems like every single day since Donald Trump's been elected, the hinge are off the hinge, and they don't have any place to go. So now they're just lashing out even
Well,
worse.
there's no purpose now.
Right. So example, the Mets game. Do we get into the Mets game?
In the Port St. Lucie?
Yeah, we were there. Yesterday, day before yesterday, went there, pulled in the parking lot, paid for parking. Security said, "Hey, park your RV right here," which is just perfect. Out of the way, just perfect. We're going into the game. We have tickets. And about that time, some guy came racing across the field in a little golf cart with a Mets jacket on. So take it from there, Blake.
So he had this blue Mets hoodie on, and he came up. Actually, Mike was gone at this time, and we're sitting there. He comes up and opens the door to the RV.
You know, the one that says
Yeah.
come back with a search warrant?
Wait, your door, he
Yes.
opened
Yes.
without permission.
Yes.
Correct.
He comes up, opens the door, and tells us we got to leave because of security issues and safety concerns. I said, he goes, you can park across the street, which is, mind you, not in the parking lot of the stadium at
And
all.
that's
It's
a
in some
worse
random
place to
parking lot. So what's funny is he said, yeah, you're going to block people from trying to get out. I have the video. I
Which
panned
we're
the
gonna
video
post.
over. The nearest car is 25 feet away. There's more than enough room for them to move, right?
And this is where you were told to park.
And this is where we were told to park
By security.
by the security that is doing the parking on the lot. Now, the guy that's complaining is the supervisor for the actual New York Mets. So he's out of New York, right? So you already know where his thought process is. He complains. I basically kindly tell him to go shove it. And he walks off and had to take it. He had to take it. And because the people that are in charge of the actual stadium and not the New York Mets are like, no, we told you could park here. He's just an asshole. That's what. So.
Well, those were
Now you know he's an asshole.
yeah, those were their words, by the way.
It was the parking. Yeah, the parking's words for sure.
So you got to watch the game.
So we went in and we watched the game, had a great time, and so here I am walking around the game with my hat you see right here, amongst thousands of New York hats, and it all went well. You know, there was somebody behind me, kind of, oh, I don't like the hat, and blah blah blah. But anyway, we watched the game, and then we were leaving, or getting ready to leave. We went out to the motorhome, and the same New York Mets official dude said, you know, he goes, this isn't about politics. He goes, this is about a baseball game. And I said, you know, the irony is baseball is politics. Okay. So that's number one. Number two. And I said, you're not going to take my freedom away. So go back to New York.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I'm a New Yorker.
That's all right.
But
you don't need
you're
to
from
apologize.
California.
Well, you know,
So
I'm from
that
the
doesn't
Golden
make me. So I guess what I'm trying to say is when they say go back to New York, not every New Yorker is that stubborn or that stupid.
Yeah,
to
and just
say
like
things
not
like that.
every guy from California is gay.
Yeah, no. So the reference
I wouldn't
was,
take it that far.
Yeah,
I
no.
think-
But the reference was go back to the Mets. You know, go back to the organization. You know, don't be bothering us. And I actually said we're paying customers. So go back to the Mets. Go
Right,
back to
just
New
like you're
York.
paying customers very fresh, just like you're paying customers
Kyle
at
G's.
Kyle G's, just like you're paying customers. Well, no, you're not. You didn't buy spend a dime here.
I bought a
Actually, I
Led
did
Zeppelin
remember
sweater.
about it. Yeah.
And this
gave-
bracelet I'm wearing.
Yeah, we gave you a shirt and we paid for.
You've been doing that for
I know.
Yeah. So we are paying customers. By the way, that parking out there is terrible with all these trucks parking on the middle of the street. I mean, that should be a code violation, wouldn't you think? In the middle of the street, not in the loading zone, on the street.
I don't see that. I have
Well, we're around the corner.
a very colorful wall in front of me.
That's right. You should probably change that to like have a little window.
Well, it folds up against
That
the
way you
wall.
get vitamin D.
It folds up against the
little
wall.
tan going.
It folds up
I
against.
think you need a
I
tan.
think I'm more tan than you've ever been. Okay, so just saying. And I don't even go in the sun. So you got the Mets.
You be the judge.
So wait. So when you came back from the Mets game, first of all, who won?
The Mets did 6-1.
Okay, perfect. So now you came back. Was there any positive feedback in this entire thing?
All positive.
All positive.
Did anybody want a picture in front? Now you both have Ray-Ban glasses that
Yeah, that's how we can
record?
keep. That's how we can keep track of you. See, right now we're recording. See the light.
And now we have
We're
two
recording.
perspectives.
Yeah.
Right?
So that way we have your
These
perspective and
guys
the real
think they're men in
perspective.
black.
Yeah, that way we have real perspective versus what you say.
So I really want a bear. How much did they cost? Like 300?
$350 after tax. They're definitely worth it. It has AI built into it, Bluetooth. And
So Ray-Ban,
cameras
if
and
you want to
pictures, all
sponsor, we can sponsor this for you. We push these glasses all the time, so just give us a ring.
Amen.
LogicalConservative.com. Follow Motor.
772-678-6170.
Is that you?
That's me.
You heard that, India?
I'll call you guys when they give me the money.
Just make sure they're not from China.
No, you don't want them from China. No, there's some good things from China. I got a dolly inside that's made by. I got a freaking dolly with 4 pieces of wood and 4 wheels that's made in China. Like, we can't make an effing dolly.
You know, we went to all hats. See these hats right here? We went to all hats American made because now that's the way it needs to be as much as you can or all the
Did you ever
time.
see
Well,
that
those are the
commercial?
real deal.
Did you ever see that commercial?
Shout out Magamall.
That's right, Magamall. These hats are just
Okay, I just muted both of them so I can talk. Okay, so did you ever see the commercial that they say they make the flags in the USA only, that company, Allegiance or whatever? Now you can talk.
Yeah, I have seen the commercial, so keep going. I want to hear the end of this.
Well, because I think that lots of our flags are made overseas. And why? Why do we do stupid things like that? Why do we give millions of dollars to people who hate us and want to kill us and give them condoms?
Well, I think the big part of it is we give it to them because prior to we had nothing but crooks giving it away.
Greasing each other's palms.
So it's not even really greasing each other. It's greasing one way so that, I mean, just look at what's going on with all this uncovering. I, in my wildest dreams, never imagined there could be this much money being squandered and
Corruption.
wrapped away.
It's corruption. That's what it is.
It's massive
You go in
corruption.
making $60,000 a year. You come out making $500,000 a year. Hello, what's wrong with that picture?
And you're worth $150 million. So,
Yeah.
I need that job. If there's a job out there like that, I kind of want that one.
Mr. Musk,
Yes.
if you can just hire me and I'll bring you water
Yeah.
or anything like that.
200 grand a year.
Yeah, that's all.
That's it.
That's all I need.
That's just a drop.
So any other exciting adventures that you're heading towards?
Well, I can tell you this, that when we leave here, who knows what's going to happen. All I know is this, is that I told Blake weeks ago that and we see it now more so that people are becoming, again, more unhinged. We've got video after video after video. We're going to be releasing as quick as we can.
I would keep on posting those, by the way. I
Yeah,
would.
it's just gone crazy. So,
Well, certain people in the Martin GOP don't want us to post negative things.
That's really not up to them.
It really isn't.
It's free speech. It
is.
Freedom of the press. You can do whatever you want.
And it's really funny that we're just, all we're doing is recording what is happening to us. And when our rights as Americans are being violated and we expose it, I never thought in a million years that we'd have someone from the GOP, Martin GOP, calling us, demanded we take it down. And the reason behind that, Chris, real quick, is because Barry Fresh's family, Mitch is the son, his parents owned Barry Fresh and started it, right? They've been donating to the Republican Party. So they're more concerned with the money than they are with our freedoms as Americans being violated.
and again,
That's the problem with the government in total. That's why we have the Doge.
That's right, and a good one.
Yep.
yeah. So having said that, we both agree to this, both myself and myself and Blake, is that, we're not out to hurt a business. We're not out to destroy business. And the irony is everybody comes to us.
We were there to have breakfast.
Yeah. We don't go out and say, hey, we don't go to like someplace and set up and just waiting, to go out and grab people and make them start screaming and yelling. They come to us.
See, that was a misconception at Very Fresh because they said that you were over handing pamphlets out randomly to anybody.
Like we need to do
know
that.
what? I know you guys don't do that. So
We don't have to.
If somebody asks you for something, then yeah, sure, you give them something.
How many people have go to breakfast and hand out cards? But having said that, again, I was sitting there minding my own business. I had my
Did you have bacon?
actually I had eggs, bacon, and potatoes. Yeah.
Okay.
And,
What'd you have?
well,
About the same thing.
yeah.
To finish it.
Yeah. No, neither one of us did. But
Just like the steaks over here.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
we-
right. Yeah. I had to microwave my steak. But so I was signing cards that, you've seen before, sitting there minding my own business, having breakfast. And that's the lady saw the motorhome. But prior to that, people would come up and they go, "Oh, is that your motorhome?" And I'd say, "Yes." And they go, "Can we have a picture?" Sure. So I walk out to
That's
the
what I
motorhome.
mean. It's an
take
attraction.
a picture, hand them a card, out at the motorhome. There you go.
So if you have not seen the motorhome, which if you're anywhere around this area, you have seen the motorhome. When you're riding on US 1 or if you're riding on I-95, you hear the beeping of the horns and stuff like that.
Yeah, we try to hit the horns.
There you go again.
Do people hit the horns for you, giving you a
all
thumbs
the time,
up?
all the time. Even like today, we pulled up next to this car that had a little dog in it. The dog gave us one of these.
The paw up?
Yeah, I hit the horn. The dog did this. It was pretty amazing.
that
wasn't it?
sounds like my dog. He would do that. But so your next challenge, because I'm sure you must talk about it, and we want to touch base on the company name that you were talking about. Is that an LLC or is it just a nonprofit?
Our organization.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a nonprofit.
Okay. I just want to touch base briefly on that after I find out from Mike, because I know he has something up his sleeve, even though he has short sleeves. And very little muscles.
Don't
And
use the
very
short.
little muscles. He said.
It's all about leverage, isn't it? You found out.
No, who was up against the wall?
Well, you know what? I was just letting you have your moment. This is your
Listen,
studio.
we need another round. I don't think. I don't think the first one did it.
Anybody that wants to be a ref, call in.
I would go with the ring.
It'd be the rumble in the jungle,
I don't know if you could take Joe Rogan, man.
the thriller in the middle.
I would go in the
he
ring.
can't. Doesn't he look kind of like Joe Rogan?
I would go in the ring. I think Joe Rogan looks like me. I am older than him. He's 57. I'm 63.
Wow, I thought you're about 60, 67, 68, maybe 71.
I'm sorry, but you're older than me. You're older than me. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. He's the baby. You're old. I'm younger than you.
See, but you're getting confused. So you were asking about something where you started.
What is your
That's
next?
part of dementia. You start forgetting what you're
What
going to
is
say.
your next? What is your next? Wait, hold on. Let me turn up my microphone just a little bit here. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. That's good. What is your next episode? Oh, what is your? It's because these are now episodes. Okay, so this is volume 1 or episode 1, and then you have to give it a title. So in the beginning, you should put it on a piece of software like this. This is software, and then I edit it. And maybe you should do that with your thing there and say, Berry Fresh, episode 1. And then, Oak and Ember, episode 2. The Zoo, episode 3. So what is episode 4?
Okay.
The Mets.
The Mets.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
actually,
cool.
before I do forget, I want to thank you for donating the equipment
Did
that
you
you
use it yet?
donated.
Yes. No, we need to figure it out. We might need your help with that.
One day I can meet you over by the Trump store.
Let's meet at Oak and Ember. Let's meet at Oak and Ember,
we're
and
not
we'll have
meeting at Oak
lunch.
and Ember.
Because the lunches are $300.
We'll spend $500 for the three of us, and then Kyle can kick us out and talk bad about it.
No, where you park your RV at the Trump store. I call it the Trump store.
Yeah, that's one place. Mel's.
okay.
It's called Nautical but Nice.
It's an awesome store. The guy's
It's a
an
great
awesome
store.
dude.
He's a great guy.
Jeannie talked to the guy, and she came into the car and she said, "Wow, that guy's really nice.
No, Mel is something
He's
special.
really nice."
Yeah, he's a great American.
I thought he was a lunatic because he's cutting half of his clientele in half. But you know what? That's his belief, and let it be his belief.
It's a double-edged sword, Chris, because when you're outspoken like that, you also bring in more clientele because it draws them in. It draws that kind of crowd in, kind of like us.
What I like is that both of you, believe it or not, are humble. I've known you a longer time, and you were always amazing. Came into the store and everything, and then Mike comes along. Oh, jeez.
Yin and yang, right?
And so now there's and I don't really think it's because of you, But there's controversy now with the RV, which I don't believe there should be controversy. I don't believe there should be any controversy because it is a totally neutral RV.
Correct. It's about our freedoms, and my choice was to vote for Donald Trump.
Right, but
And if somebody doesn't
only
like it,
sees Donald Trump.
But if someone, I had a guy say, "Oh, I like this Jim, I like everything, but I don't like Donald Trump," and I said, "You know what? Let's do this.
You can pick that part.
Go pay $500,000 for the motorhome. Go pay $25,000 for the wrap. Pay $5 a gallon for gas from California, and go drive your heart out. It's called a free country." And put the picture you want on the side.
But see, you positioned it in such a way that somebody can have their picture in front of JFK.
Of course.
Somebody can have their picture in front of Martin Luther and keep the other people out of it.
100%.
Somebody can have a picture in front of the eagle. In the front,
Constitution.
Right? About the flag going up.
Yep.
Right? They can have their picture taken in one. It's not all Trump. It's not. And just because you voted for Trump and you support Trump and you push Trump, that's your prerogative. So if I was a Democrat, I would still be sitting here saying it is your prerogative. Seriously. But we truly found out now that who are the people that are so judgmental. We truly found out now. So it's not necessarily the Republicans that are judgmental, but it seems to be the other side, because all you're doing is driving a very neutral RV, and people are, I'll say, verbally attacking.
Physically in some ways.
And making threats.
And making threats.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Somebody said they were going to blow bullet holes in that POS.
Okay, so you can call the cops on that.
Well, we could, but we know what would happen. We call Stewart PD. It might take till there's bullet holes in the side.
With respect to the Stewart PD, I just want to tell you about this. I have friends that are cops down here. On a whole, truthfully, they're nice people.
No, they are. They all
are put into a situation that they hate that situation. They want to be politically correct. They want to be able to help the locals here and shut your ass up. So how do you do both? You have to be an ass to somebody.
Well, when we went there was a little native uprising there, protest about going back, people staying here that were here illegally weeks ago. And we went there and here's the irony. They want to stay here, but they're waving Mexico flags.
Right.
I mean, I don't get it. But having said that, so when we were there, driving right next to the sidewalk, hitting the horn, of course, the air brakes lost most of my air. And anybody knows about air brakes, if you use too much air, your brakes don't work anymore and it locks up so you can't go. Anyway, it locked up and I couldn't go. And we're kind of like right in front of them. They're kind of beating on the side. And Lord. The PD, actually, as Martin sheriffs, came in behind us and escorted us to, get out of there, which made sense, and kind of got us away from the herd. But the irony was, I wound up with a ticket. I got the ticket.
You wound up with a ticket after all the people. Okay.
I wound up with a ticket.
Have you gone to Harry and the Natives yet?
Oh, yeah.
That's where Mitch tracked us down. We were having lunch, and when we were eating, Mitch walked in with his Trump calendar in hand.
Yeah.
How did he know you were there?
He was making random calls trying to find out, hey, does anybody know where this motorhome's at? And so he called Harry, I guess. And Harry goes, well, they're right here.
They were going to close. And then
somebody gave him $50,000.
Well, do you know?
Maybe it's Mitch.
No, wait. Do you know what happened? Is Fox News went there, and Fox News did an episode in Harry and the Natives.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and because they were in business so long. I mean, I lived here in the 1990s, and I believe they were still there. That's where I got my first motorcycle. It was a Harry and the Natives because the guy was selling it, and then he met me at Harry and the Natives, and I drove it home. Just a little bit of trivia there, just so you know. But did the owner of Harry and the Natives have a problem with you parking your RV there?
100% no.
Amen.
As a matter of fact, who's the Stewart Diner?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, Jimmy. Shout out Jimmy.
Yeah, he invites us back and says, I have no problem whatsoever. It's about freedom of speech,
So
etc.
let's do the shout outs. You've already done the shout outs to the people that don't like you.
Right.
Let's do the
Oh, that's
shout
right.
outs.
I shouted out to you for the microphone. So would that be considered I don't like you, or was that a good one?
I like you. I think you're a nice guy. I mean,
Okay,
I
so
really do.
thank you for the equipment. Now
But
that
I have to teach you how to use it. It's very important. Look at. What does that say?
it says
The United States.
I have to go.
I
Have
think the president's
lunch.
calling me. Look,
He probably is.
it says the United States.
There you go. Actually, it says call home to mom.
No, my mom's dead.
Oh, so I apologize.
Jesus Christ, she's sitting right here.
Oh, I thought that was this coin.
No, you dumbass. So my parents, just so you know,
Well, don't spill it.
my mother and father are in there.
Yeah.
I introduce them to everybody that I read. But anyway, so a shout out to the amazing people that accept you and
Well, actually, shout
support
out to
you.
Americans that voted because it's about freedom.
Yes.
And so you have people that say, hey, listen, and I've talked to people, look, sometimes there's a cost of freedom. And if it means you're losing a customer, hey, that's a cheap price to pay for freedom.
Amen. But do you think all the people that gave you controversy, seriously, all the people that gave you controversy, do you think they're Democrats? I'm serious.
Yeah,
Is
no,
Kyle,
that's a great.
is
That's
Kyle,
that's a great question. So,
or they just don't want their business to be
I think,
profiled.
look, I understand. I think it's both, but let's start with we'll call it I don't even want to say Democrats, but people have a problem with Trump. Let's just say it that way.
Okay.
They don't know why they have all these excuses, but at the end of the day, we're all Americans and we have the right to vote. As far as business owners, I get it. Okay?
Have you heard of a gentleman named Elon Musk?
Let's see. I think I heard that somewhere.
Okay. Do you know how much money he saved in 4 weeks?
Oh, man. I mean, well, how about how much money he's lost because of taking positions? But go ahead.
He's talking about for the
No, I understand.
the country, right?
Yes. How much he made for the country. I got to disconnect. Please let me know. Good. I don't know what that means. For the country, it was billions of dollars he saved. And now he just also told people, hey, listen, you have a job, you work at home, now you're coming back to the office.
Right.
And if you don't come back to the office,
See ya.
we have somebody that will.
Right.
And to me, that's logical. You need to come back to, because people, those buildings, they're empty, right? Because the people that are working at home, you still got to pay rent
We
on that.
both know they're not working.
Right. They're in their pajamas, they're having
Right.
coffee, and the computer's open, but they're not
Maybe.
they're not doing what they would be doing if they were at work. Right. So I think that was supposed to happen today. So every night, I know this is I'm really old and I'm really decrepit here. So at nighttime, we go home, and it's funny. Do this, okay? Because I'm sure you do anyway. Watch MSNBC, CNN, and then Fox. Are you kidding me? According to MSNBC, CNN, the world's ending. If you watch Fox, everything is getting so much better. I think both of them are biased, of course. So there's no neutral news. Walter Cronkite, I guess, was the last dude.
Right. Exactly. That shows how old you are, kind of. Walter Cronkite. I don't remember him.
And hear now the news. And that's what he used to say. So there is real no news anymore. There's opinions.
Correct.
Right? So my opinion is that RV is a positive and not a negative. I would say more people would think that's a positive than a negative. Those negatives just stand out more. Negative always stands out more than positive.
And it gets more views.
Right. So the controversy gets more views.
Oh.
The scuffle between him and I are going to get fun views.
Yeah, that would get way more.
But what you don't understand is I think you're an awesome dude. I think, well, you know what I think about you, so it doesn't matter. But I do think you're an awesome dude. I like that type of controversy, and I really don't get a chance to do that with anybody because I know that it can end in probably something that's not good. But I know that you can take care of yourself. So it was fun to be able to do that again after all these years of me not being able to do it. So I thought it was pretty
Well,
good.
that's what it's all about, right?
I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun.
We
That's
have
just
fun.
something that I do.
At the end of the day, we have attacked this with keeping in mind that we do need to enjoy what we do, and we do enjoy it. And with that, sometimes comes the other things, but this is important.
Last question before we're done.
All right.
What is your next adventure? Because I asked this before. Mm-hmm. Where are you going?
It changes almost every day. So, for example, 45 minutes ago, you called and said, "Hey, can you get over here?" Boom, we're here.
Understood.
So,
have you drove to Mar-a-Lago?
we've gone by it, driven by it. We actually took out a group of people, drove by Mar-a-Lago, had a great time. It was an evening out. You know, they pay for we'll call it the rent of the motorhome, but we drive by Mar-a-Lago, and wasn't that a great time?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it was cool.
I'm going to tag President Trump in this on X, and I'm going to tag Musk on X. You know, no disrespect to JD Vance, but I'm sure he's doing a lot of really cool stuff behind the scenes. But in real life here, it's Trump and Musk is what we see the most.
Well, of course.
And you don't see JD Vance. You know, it was weird because the Democratic Party, you didn't see Biden or Harris.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah. At least you're seeing him. You know.
Right.
Isn't it amazing now how we have news conferences?
All the time.
It's amazing.
All the time.
I forgot what that was even about.
And not only you have a news conferences about Trump, but you have a news conference about Musk saying something. You know, everybody. You got Marco Rubio. I mean, you got these people that are good people.
Agreed.
Some people may not like Trump. Yes, I understand that. But Marco Rubio, you can't say something bad about the dude.
Well, you know, you don't necessarily have to like someone. I mean, I'm sure we've all grown up and gone through life where we didn't like someone. Yeah. On the flip side, it's about, hey, look, there needs to be tolerance. Their opinion, your opinion, respect the fact that they have it. Respect the fact that, you know, people died so we could have this opinion. We don't live in Russia where if you say something, like we were sitting here doing this and I don't know if Russia or not, but whatever country, you know, there's a chance when we walked out the door, you never see us again.
Right, exactly. But what's really nice is that we're not in Russia.
I don't know. I think Mitch is sending birds. No, we saw, Chris, real quick, we saw a bird with those little GPS trackers, those little white ibis.
No, you didn't see
that. Yeah, no, serious. Yeah. And it flew behind us all the way to here.
Actually, just after we got off the phone with you.
Yeah. And it flew all the way here right behind the motorhome.
No shit.
Yeah. And it kept saying,
Mitch is going to get you.
Mitch.
No. Should I wear my shirt that says "Don't be a Mitch"?
I just called him Mitch.
Well, let's name him Mitch. That's a good. There you go.
That's a Mitch bird.
That's a Mitch bird.
Well, anyway, this is a bird. What? Oh my God!
Yeah, look at that thing. I thought it was a battery.
It's a GPS tracker on the bird.
Why?
I guess to see its migration patterns.
They don't know that by now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little sketchy, right?
Yeah.
Outside of Starbucks.
Yeah, I'm sure they're funding it to millions of dollars. So maybe, Elon, you need to check out the bird and defund the GPS tracking of birds that it really doesn't matter at the end of the day, other than they're safe in their environment.
Well, I support you guys. I think you're great. I think what you're doing is good. I think what you're talking about and changing people's minds, not necessarily, I'm going to retract that. It's not necessarily changing their minds. It's educating them.
Yeah, we're doing our best.
To educate them what you're about, what the party is about, what the mission is about. That's what I think.
And you know what I've learned from being around this a little bit? Guys like him, actually, not just, whatever. Guys like him, Blake, if they had that mindset and they truly believed and had conviction and weren't just mean-spirited, it'd be a great place. And so we need people like this in our government and going forward.
I'm going to say this. Now, Mitch, whether you like it or not. Mitch, I'm going to keep on calling him that. It's Blake.
It's the bird.
Listen, Blake. Right. He got me going on the bird there. Blake is, correct me if I'm wrong, 33?
Yeah.
How old are you?
Yeah, I'll be actually 34 on February 26th, so
Happy
in 2
birthday.
days.
Happy birthday. So
March
Mitch is
14th there.
34. You tell me a
Mitch, you said Mitch
34-year-old.
again.
I didn't say that again. Blake will
It's
be
Alzheimer's.
Blake will be 34. And what 34-year-old person do you know now that would be mature enough to be able to he and I'm not kidding. A couple of weeks ago when he was parked over here and this dude was such a moron that I wanted to go say something, you handled it so professionally. Now 34-year-olds today are not really the 34-year-olds when you and I were 34.
No.
You know, we were married, we had a family at 34 years old, things like, maybe not you.
We
'cause
need
like,
psychological therapy.
right. But to 34-year-olds today, my son's 34, and he happens to be a mature kid. But most of them would not be able to handle the pressure and the altercations that you have to go through and still stay calm.
And, you know,
Which kudos to
and
you
I'm
for
going to take off on that because
Thank you.
when we first met, I looked at him and I said, now remember, you asked for this. And so I couldn't have asked
But
for
he stepped up to the
He
plate.
stepped up to the plate. And again, at the end of the day, we just need more people that have conviction, are willing not just to whisper about it, but do something about it. And so that's kind of where he's at.
And that's what we're trying to do today. We're not whispering. We're putting this out, and we're gonna like blast it all
Full
over the place.
throttle, baby. Full throttle.
Full throttle, bull by the horns.
So any last words?
See ya.
That's a good last words. Your turn.
Thank you, Chris, for having us, man. And you know what? Shout out to everybody in Martin County. You know, we do respect the police, contrary to what Kyle G posted. We do have a high respect for them. My mother was a police officer for 22 years. My grandfather was a sheriff. We have Mike here who had 18 years as a sheriff in California. You know, the only thing is some of them should learn how to de-escalate instead of escalate situations over parking.
It's true, very much so.
all. Thank you for your service, though.
Respect the police department here. I respect people's opinions. I don't have to agree with you, but you know what? We can agree to disagree. God bless everybody, and God bless America, and you guys have a great day. And we are live. Hi, everybody. This is Chris from the Stewart Buzz with two of the most degenerate people I've ever met.
Three,
You got
actually.
Mike and you
Three
got Blake.
total.
Three, including me. Everybody knows that, though. That's a gimme. So we're here to talk about a couple of controversies or a couple of situations and to clear them up or at least make more mystery of them, one or the other.
Mystery.
So let's start off with Blake because he's a little bit more normal than Mike. Blake, so how are things going driving that beautiful RV, which I think is beautiful, but anyway, just to let you know, guys. How's things going with that?
Well, every day something new happens, that's for sure. And what one thing I've learned is people will always form their own opinions no matter what. A lot of them actually don't have all the facts, and then they'll spout off their opinion publicly without knowing everything. Some of the people made public Facebook posts telling Mike to go back to California, but we'll get into the rest of that later. But altogether, it's been an adventure. It's fun. We met Russell Brand. Grant Cardone was on there, so.
Hey, by the way, sorry to interrupt. Did you hear that Dan got the deputy chief?
Oh yeah,
FBI.
yeah, that was awesome.
So,
Love that.
did you know that?
Of course.
Okay.
I read the National Enquirer.
I didn't even know that's still in business. I actually got that off of